The war in Sudan, as strange as it may sound, has got nothing to do with the people of Sudan. The common people of Sudan are the victims of this war. The two military generals who are fighting for supremacy in Sudan have flouted every single ceasefire. Critical infrastructure has been targeted and life has been brought to a standstill. But the question is this: who is arming these two military generals in Sudan? And why is it that Sudan, that has just emerged out of one of Africa's longest and bloodiest civil wars that ended with the creation of South Sudan in 2011, has again plunged into another civil war in 2023?
A ceasefire should result in a temporary suspension of fighting. But in Sudan, each ceasefire is being manipulated by the head-butting generals to gain some advantage. Resulting in greater violence on the streets, the Sudanese army is using heavy air power to bomb RSF positions in densely populated Khartoum. Thick plumes of smoke are visible from miles around. Almost every shop is shut. And with widespread shortage of essential supplies, there are reports of shops, supermarkets, and even banks being looted. Fuel stations are running dry. Most neighborhoods have been without power for days. Sudanese people caught up in this fighting are being forced to make a difficult choice, either to stay on and hope that the fighting ends soon, or flee from their homes to a safer place.
We were forced to come here because of the fighting in Khartoum. We had to run as quickly as possible because of the war. It was a difficult journey. We wanted to stay with our relatives here because we have suffered a lot.
More than 100,000 people have fled from Sudan in the last 20 days. Over 350,000 are internally displaced. Regular checkpoints have been set up by both the Sudanese army and the RSF in areas where they control.
People coming from Khartoum who are escaping the war and trying to find safety and security arrive here under very difficult circumstances. Some people who have passed through here don't have food, some are sick, and some are very old.
At Port Sudan, hundreds of families are camping at a makeshift center, hoping for a chance to board a plane or even a ship.
Nobody could ever wish this upon anyone, not their enemies, nor themselves. I hope everyone can eventually come back and all these problems are solved. Nobody really wants to leave their country, and that is why I hope things get better soon and everyone comes home.
But when will the fighting end in Sudan? Not anytime soon, because both generals are being backed and armed by powerful Western forces. The rebel paramilitary group called the RSF is being provided with surface-to-air missiles and other ammunition by the Wagner mercenary group. Libya's General Khalifa Haftar has thrown his weight too behind the RSF leader Mohammed Dagalo. According to open-source intelligence, Russia is pumping in weapons from its Syrian Latakia airbase into the Krib al-Tom camp in Sudan. All this with stopovers at the Libyan air bases of Al-Qadim and Al-Jufra, which are currently under the control of Khalifa Haftar. General Abdel Fattah al-Burhan is friendly with Egypt. With the Nile River flowing from Sudan into Egypt, and with Ethiopia's ambitious Renaissance Dam being a major flashpoint in the region, Cairo has major stakes in shaping the developments that happen in Khartoum. South Sudan seceded from Sudan after a protracted civil war that raged on for over 2 decades, in which an estimated 2 million people are said to have been killed. South Sudan took with it its rich oil fields, leaving Sudan poorer and dependent on agriculture and gold exports. The RSF General Hamdan Dagalo, also known as Hemeti, has got into several marquee deals for the export of gold with mercenary groups such as Wagner. It is a combination of these factors that has pushed Sudan deep into another protracted civil war.